So what we do is typically we need to do this like maybe once every 6 months. We did this last time. But what I'm gonna go through is I'm gonna share my screen and walk through my sort of the sales kit thing that you receive, which you will receive over WhatsApp. Then maybe we can pause every sort of 30 minutes each to see if you have questions to catch up on. Take a break. But I try not to make it too intensive. But any notes that I put in here, it will all be in the document here. So docs.google.com. That's the docs there. All right. Jane, do you want to say anything first before uh, all right. Yeah. Thank you, Jane. Uh, let's open up the MO PDF. Actually, most of this stuff, like the memo 2025, it's you guys have already been in the call, so I won't really go in there anymore, right? But there is one thing we talk about that in memo 2025, which is sectors as a vanguard, right? So I'm gonna do some. I will say like when it comes to sales onboarding, the most important differentiation you have is that you are showing, not telling. Like that's the first principle. It's like, and this is not just a sales thing, like internal team as well. It's like don't just tell people how good you are because everyone can say that. You know, every single salesperson you meet, they can say that. They can say how good they are. What you want to do is to be able to show, right? So I think sectors most of us have used it somehow, but I will show you like some of the new features, I guess. Okay, so let's start with sectors.app. I'm gonna show my screen and zoom in a bit, light mode. Okay, if you are not done, if you don't know how to demo this stuff, this thing basically closed deals on its own. Like it really closed deals on its own. All right. I think you can ask anyone who have been in a meeting where any one of the members have demoed using sectors. It closed deals on its own. So I would say like there's a few things you want to show there. The first thing you want to show is to show first of all why ChatGPT. Like this actually, if you attended any of my sessions, you see this, right? I want to show you like why ChatGPT is just horrible at things. You know, I usually start with some examples that I know will work. So one example I know will work is that there used to be, if you don't know which one will work, you just go to Bulletin, and you type AI search. The first part of this, how I usually do the demo on stage or otherwise, not AI search. What is it? It's on DeepSeek. All right. You see that there are some examples here. You can just copy them. Sometimes these are not guaranteed to work. Sometimes could be correct. Sometimes okay, this is fine. But I know it will work when it goes to like this one will always work. So for example, how many consonants or vowel and vowels are there? This always work. What do you want to show here? What is the point of this demo here? The point here is you are trying to. The point is you're trying to show that. See, this or the last one reverser. Let's put all the three first, and then let's just see like. Um, so like here, right? Like the like for example, the last one here is reverse the word super type technology, skip any R. So you will see S, U, key. But you think the E comes next, but you have to skip E. So then after E, it will be R. But here it messed up, it put T first. So what does this show? This shows one thing is that what you see on like the LLM models and everything, they are not thinking models, all right? So what you're trying to show is that they are not thinking models, they're actually pretty bad models, right? They don't really think about anything, they don't use any fact or any tools or any dictionaries, nothing. Another one that I know always work is I ask like, okay, name me two cities, name me four cities with two Y in their name. Name me four Indonesian cities. You can change it to like Malaysian cities if you want. And it will try to search the web, but it won't really give you correct ones. So you see that very clearly these are four Indonesian cities with no two Ys at all. Where is the Y in Jayapura? Where is the two Y in Payakumbuh? Where is the two Y in Maibrad? Right? And what does it show you? It shows you that at the very core, if you try to use ChatGPT to build any kind of B2B solution and everything, you see that it really quickly fall apart. Then I usually ask my client at this point, like, if ChatGPT aja gak bisa basic questions like that, do you trust it to work on your company? Because a very common use case is company want to build, let's say AI search. And they said, okay, Jane, I want to build a simple solution where I want to search up all my bankers, find all customers who work in the Maybank branch, who bank with us, who last visit with us is in the Klang Valley area, let's say, right? Let's say something like this, and you want your AI to be smart enough to give the right answers, but can you trust it when it couldn't answer a basic question like that? Would you trust this? You wouldn't, and this is not like you want to show that you're using like a state of the art model. Like I usually use ChatGPT because it's pretty dumb, right? And it couldn't answer a basic question like this, then it has no chance of doing this correctly. All right. So then you explain as the thing here is that you have to be knowledgeable. You have to be knowledgeable. At this part of your demo, your customer should already have their jaw drop. They'll be like, wow, I did not know that ChatGPT is not the solution at all. So a lot of companies, they have this misconception that, hey, I want to create AI. Why do you guys charge so much? Isn't it as simple as just take the ChatGPT and then wrap it around data and then done? Isn't it as simple as that? How come you charge for like 50,000, 60,000 for a demo? Well, why wouldn't you just like use ChatGPT, terus di-upload aja data kita kan? Di-upload aja data kita, langsung aja kita pakai. Why don't you just do that and then just charge us way lesser? Here, you just demo to them that it's just completely unreliable. I want to show you all this stuff because I wanted to explain a little bit about how you would first buy in, like first establish yourself as the authority. They need to change their perception first of like, wow, whoever they're talking to, whether it's Carla, whether it's Isna, whoever they're talking to, whether it's Shaifu, they look at that and they immediately change because you are not you are not selling them anything. You are enlightening them to a new kind of, the reality of building AI models, just wrapping ChatGPT. Turns out that is wrong, right? Turns out they did not know that. This is new information to them. And that is how you immediately win support. You immediately establish yourself as credible. And now that this part is done, you say, well, if we want to ask, right, what is the performance of GoTo stock since its IPO listing? Everyone who is Indonesian know about GoTo, right? Gojek Tokopedia, right? So let's ask this question. Let's see what it says. Decline around 85%. Okay, this is probably gonna be correct, but let's check. Sectors. Let's check. This is probably going to be correct. Did not informative. This is not very informative, but you can't say that the answer was wrong. IPO price 338, 64. What is its performance in the last 1 year? Okay, not exactly correct, but at least not far off. Revenue growth, net loss reduction. Okay, not exactly, not terrible, not terrible. It could be better, but not. So here's the question, right? Like when you see ChatGPT doing this kind of tools, how do you build better answers? Is that to build better AI, you need better data. And so what you do is that Sectors basically is the financial data platform. If you look at the one here, right? We basically covered all of the. We're the only platform that has 100% coverage of all Indonesian stocks, every single one. So if you look at Sectors itself, there are 956 companies on the IDX, and 956 we have all of the coverage, 100% of them. Where you might think like, Sam, isn't this the same as Yahoo Finance and everything? Wouldn't they be the same? Well, no, because there's a few differences here. The first one is Yahoo Finance and everything, our nearest competitor, and these are competitors you would probably hear of. So I'm going to put the link in here, right? So you hear of like Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, you have things like TradingView, you have things like Seeking Alpha, Morningstar, you have things like Simply Wall Street, you have things like yada yada. There's all this stuff. All of these are built to index US stock markets. And so when you look at the stock exchange, the largest markets in the world are these two, right? New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq, both are in the US. And they are about 71 times larger than the Indonesian Stock Exchange. So obviously they are so much larger. And the ones I just listed there, they all do really well in those markets, in those big markets. But they don't actually do that well when it comes to the smaller markets. They actually have lesser than 55 to 60% of coverage. For Indonesian Stock Exchange, less than 60%. We have 100%. So we're pretty much the only platform in the world. And it's not even near, not even close. Our competition has maybe 60% of coverage of Indonesian stocks. So pretty much if you work in Indo, you will have to use, and you use your own finance, then you will, by switching to Sectors, you pretty much get a big upgrade because your coverage went from 60% to the nearest competition to 100%. All right. So this is this is the part about talking about like what's the differentiation in there. Now, second is that also on Sectors, let's go and look at, let's say, DBS, or let's say BCA first. BCA. I like to do BCA because it's like everyone knows that if you go into some of the sections like financials, and you look at there are certain things that no one else have. Let's say open up Adaro as well, or let's say Bayan. Bayan is what? BAYN? No. What is Bayan? Bayan is Bayan. BYAN. Okay. You look at the financials. Almost every other platform out there in the world would have this basic table. Would have, because it's very easy. You say Bayan Minerals, Yahoo Finance. You will see things like revenue. You will see things like in the financials, statistics. You will see market cap. You will see financials. You will see operating expense, EBIT. But what you will not see is, where is this income coming from? Where is this income coming from? This income from -3 to -4 to -2 to -2, where did that come from? You won't see that breakdown. Where if you were to, for example, how much of this is coal mining related? How much of that is coal mining related? How much of that is not coal mining? Batubara. How much of that? There is no such breakdown. So again, Sectors is the only platform in the world that dive into that breakdown and show you those compensation. So same thing here. If you search for Adaro, Energy Indonesia, same thing in there. You go to financials. It shows you the revenue, but it didn't really give you a breakdown of where the revenue is from. And you compare that to Sectors, and you look at the financials, and you see that the breakdown of revenue. So this number of revenue, 126.33, matches. This is the total revenue. So total revenue in here matches here. And then minus gross profit, minus everything, become net profit, 38.37. Then you would compare that to the one above, but here, 2024. So 33.59, 33.59, 33.59, 33.59. But how much of this is actually from sales of coal? How much is that from mining service? How much from that from others? This is very critical for any kind of stock investment because you want to see company that grow their main revenue, right? You want to see company that actually basically able to grow their main revenue, not making up its revenue through other stuff, other adjacent stuff. So you want to be able to compare something like this. And with Yahoo Finance and everything, you won't see that. Like how much of this revenue is actually from its core services? We don't know because it's all grouped up together. There is no other platform that breaks it down based on customer segment, based on income revenue, cost structure, no other platform. So you say, well, Sam, why couldn't other companies do what you do? Why wouldn't they just be simple? Well, the only way to do what we do here, like for example, the loan of revenue, right? Now here, we see that the revenue is 108.31. So this is the total revenue. How much of that is from making, so a bank make revenue from two ways. Basically, one is interest income, one is non-interest income. Interest income is pretty much by far the key component of that. Basically, the key component of that is like how maybe 80% of the income of a bank is made up from interest income. Basically, interest income is when you go to a bank and you open a deposit, you basically get interest. The interest they pay you is the interest expense. But how do they make money? Well, they also give out loan. And when they give out loan, they receive interest. So the interest income minus the interest expense is what you see in here. And how do you break it down? This is all this breakdown. Again, if you go and type Yahoo Finance and you type, let's say, BVCA, Bank Central Asia, and you go into financials, you again won't see the information. It doesn't break down anything like that. It just gives you a special income write-off, and that's it. How much of that is from, say, area? It doesn't break. Much of that is from market fees. So get that kind of coverage. There is no platform that has that except sectors. So that is the way you would. So now let's go talk about the key part here. This is all interesting, right? All of this is cool. If you don't have the breakdown, you can't generate a diagram, visualize where the money comes from, how the money gets spent, right? But how did we do that? How did we get all of this? Because now you said all this, but other companies be able to get? No, not really. Because to copy that, let's go to BCA investor report. Or let's change it up to go to DBS investor report. Now, to change that, to do what you just see, to do that, you will need to go into the investors of each page. You will go into financials of each page. You can look at the quarterly financials or look at the group annual reports. And then from there, you have to shop the PDF of each one. And then you do the same thing for, let's say, Adaro or DBS financials. No, this is a DBS, so BCA investor report. And then from there, click on the first one. You open this up already, right? So open that up and then do the same thing, financial report. And then do the same thing, financial report or annual report. Let's do annual report instead. Look at the amount of work you're taking away just to do something like that. Click on view. Now wait for this to load up. Now, the way you can capture all this data, it's actually because all these are public companies, is that they actually have it in their report. But let's just take a look. How many pages is this report? 708. What is the pages again? Sorry, keep messing it up. 37708. Because that itself is not the full information. If you look at our sector's financial ops, you will see how we build it. So what you see just now is just one thing, which is the annual report and the income statements and company announcement. But you basically have to go through all of this. You have to go through all of this in order to generate a report as in-depth as that. Now, let's just make it very simple. Let's simplify all the calculation. Let's say we just times 5 again, right? This is the amount of pages, PDF pages, that you need to index in order for you to build a search that allows you to ask questions like, okay, you know, how much of the, or let's say breakdown, or let's say which bank in Indonesia has the fastest growing let's say whatever let's say loan segment, or let's say Sharia banking segment or whatever. In order to ask questions and build a good search engine, I'm going to go into the search later. But in order to build a data platform equivalent to sectors, your AI, in order to answer a question, might have to scan through this amount of PDF for 5 years. Okay, if you do 10 years, then you multiply by 10. For each company, 956. Assuming each PDF is about 708 pages, some of them are even larger, some of them are smaller. But assuming that is true, multiply by Bank Indonesia marketable securities, okay? Marketable securities, okay? Oh, and then there's this like CASA. CASA is basically current account plus savings account. This is very important. How much of its funding, where did it get its money from, its funding from? And again, we break everything down by looking at the management. You see there's a financing asset quality, and then you look at the liquidity, it breaks down the CASA ratio. It gives you all of this information without you having to manually pass through this amount of PDF. And again, we're the only platform in the world. No other platform can you find information like that, as complete as this. So, and again, these are not just all of that. There's so much more information on here that really show you that there's no other competition to sectors. Everything you need, the NPL, non-performing loan, the net interest income, NIM, net interest margin, which bank perform well, which bank is at risk of having a lot of loan that is going to churn and a lot of loan that is unpaid. All of this are a breakdown in here, and we presented for every single bank. The coverage is extremely wide, very full coverage, right? There is no other company, no other platform that you can find that has this kind of breakdown. All right. So now you say, well, so turns out in order to build this, I just have to crawl through this amount of PDF, put them in the knowledge base, and then build an AI to chat with that. Not exactly as well, because imagine this, right? Imagine every time you ask a question, and your AI have to go and kick off this amount of reading, have to read this. Your AI is going to come back within 2 or 3 hours to tell you that it couldn't find an answer. Would you want that? No, you wouldn't want that. So you're not actually going to use your AI to build, to just like, okay, here's my knowledge store. I already stored like this amount of PDF pages in there. And I want my AI to, every time a question comes in, it has to read this number of pages to generate an answer. This will be way too long. Every single query, can you imagine that? You ask that in the morning, you go for a coffee, go for a walk, go for a jog, come back, have lunch, and then your AI is still reading through this PDF. You can't imagine that. That's horrible user experience. Sectors, on the other hand, is extremely fast. Like every question you can ask, we'll do a demo in a bit. Get you an answer within like 4-5 seconds. All right. So this is what you're presenting, and that is the first part of the of doing the demo. And you're doing all this demo to demonstrate one thing. It's like what you're selling, the company, the team that work on, the team that builds sectors and everything, you wanted to position yourself as that you are selling something that has no substitute, in that you are very price insensitive because there is no real substitute. There are no another team in the region, right? Not just in Indo, that builds something as ambitious as sectors. No one. I mean, you can talk about like, oh, what about the platforms that you mentioned earlier here? Yes, but these are not the regional players. All of these are US players. All of these are Silicon Valley players, right? But in the region, as far as coming to building an AI product and building a product that is, wow, what's this? Okay, as far as building an AI product and then maintaining it and keep on adding features to it, and I think we can look at our release note to see how often we release features. This is when we launch. 12th of June. So we are actually 1 year in now to this. Like this is like our anniversary week. This is the first year. You can look at since then, how much of changes have made. And by the way, just how fast is our page? If you don't think that they loaded the page, just look at the URL here. 2.6, 2.5, 2.4, 2.3. Do you see how fast the page is? 2.1. It's almost as if you're opening a Word document. There's another thing about our engineering ability. It's like when you look at the sectors, when you look at everything in here, you would think that a platform like that should be very slow because it has so much data, yet it's extremely fast. Like just pay attention to like BBCA, click on that, opens up immediately. This thing, if you let any other teams in Indo, in Malaysia, any other teams in the region to build it, they're going to do it in Tableau or something, and it's going to be slow as hell. I think some of you who have used Tableau would understand what I mean, but it's not the experience in here. The one you see on sectors is extremely fast. It's almost as if nothing is loading at all. All right. So so um so what is the key takeaway in here before we go too far from that? What is the key takeaway? Let's open that up again. The document is that what you're selling, you have to have a lot of confidence that there's just no other way to engineer it. There's just no other way. The only one to if you wanted let's say a company wanted to build a good product, a good platform, a good like building good data engineering hardware and everything, telling them that we build sectors and it's used by 30,000 people monthly, that should be a big boost to your sales credibility. Immediately they know that, oh wow, if you guys can do that, you guys, this is the easy task for you. And we don't just do this for us, we also do it for BPK. I think BPK, just for the benefit of everybody, is the audit board of the Republic of Indonesia. This is basically they are not really a central bank. They are really more like general auditors. They audit the government spending. They audit the any kind of suspicious of corruption. They audit expenditures. They audit whether or not government investment is in the right areas. Most of you are familiar with BPK, and BPK also has something very similar. They have a similar problem they need to solve. And when you look at what we did for BPK, it's actually really astounding as well. So BPK has like hundreds and thousands of pages. Did I put it in here somewhere? I don't know, but I can talk about it now. BPK has like hundreds and thousands of pages of audit report. So the audit report, let's talk about this now. If you need to like learn more about this case study, this is a very powerful case study. They have okay, so what do they have? They have about hundreds and thousands of audit reports. Some on ministry spending, some on like ministry investments, some on other government initiatives. But obviously, they only audit government agencies, right? They don't audit like private companies. So they have all these audit reports, but these reports are in PDF presentation format. Okay, what do they want? Don't know why this not done. Let me tap it again. Okay. They want to be able to search through all these reports and be able to map these reports into one of the 20 sustainable development goals, UN. Sustainable development goals. Okay, if you don't know what it is, just type UN SDG 17, okay, not 20. But you can just type that out and then you can figure that out. But to be able to show, to be able to get basically World Bank's funding to map this, to get World Bank's funding. So they want to show like, hey, we are doing all this stuff because we are trying to improve livelihood. And the way to do that to World Bank is you map it to one of the sustainable development goals. So it could be like for equality, for empowering women, empowering underprivileged communities. But you have to be able to map that. But who has time for that? Because they have 100,000 reports. There's too many reports. Who have time to go and map them individually, manually? And also who have time to go and take all these 100,000 reports and build a search engine on top of that, so that you can the user experience should be something like sectors where they can just ask like pull up reports that show that map to or let's say that demonstrate the state government's investments into Papua New Guinea, Papua. Or let's say they want to be able to say like, find me the total spending on improving women's education in Java Island. They want to be able to do that, and your AI should be able to take the 100,000 audit reports and produce an answer based on this query. Now, obviously, it's very hard to do because of what? Because first of all, these audit reports are not in database. They are all in PDF document and PowerPoint format. They are not in a database format. And then from there, they have to say, oh, and then they wanted a really good user experience that looks like sectors. This is something that they keep focusing on. I think actually, Isna, are you on a call? Are you still on a call?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember about the BPK? How did you close BPK? Can you just, for the benefit of everybody, can you explain how do you close BPK?
I showed our sectors, and he is very interested with sectors app. He wanted to implement those kind of sectors apps in internal BPK's audit analytics, which is BDIX. But initially, like we have some kind of relationship with BPK. We closed some project for the in-house trainings.
Yeah, that's right. So actually, like in when back then he's the deputy director. Now he's the director there. But back then, when Pak Pinky called me to his office, right, and we sat there, you know what he was doing? He was spending his first 20-30 minutes demoing sectors to me. Like that's the bewildering part. It's like he's opened up his screen. He opened up his big screen. I forgot if Isna was there with me or Mulia was with there, and he pushed the screen around next to us. Then he plugged into his laptop and he opened up sectors and he was demoing sectors as if sectors is his own product versus it's not our product. He was demoing. He was showing us how to use sectors. And then he's like, basically, when with that, he said, you know, I just want to build something like sectors for BPK. That was how we closed BPK. Right? So the thing is that if we build a really good sales kit, your clients is the one that is pitching you the product, not you pitching. So anyone who is not familiar with the sectors case, you can talk to Isna. I think now we are on to talk. Isna, are you aware that we are already in talk to look at they asked us for a second project?
I got the info from another team, but from the BDIX, I haven't got the info.
Yeah. Okay. So like when you build a good product, right? The thing is, your product should be so sexy it should sell itself. People should want to look at it and like, oh well, wow, we want it for our internal team. Okay. This is basically the use case. So they wanted to build exactly like that. They just wanted their internal audit report. Also, another thing is we also have pretty much some of the stuff that you see on sectors. There is nowhere else to see. For example, they've been bugging us about this BUMN. I can even show you our WhatsApp. BPK. Where's the BUMN? Here. Mohon ditambahkan informasi terkait bagaimana update data SOE untuk state-owned enterprise untuk BUMN yang listing di IDX. Kemudian all that. They've been asking for that, so we asked them to upgrade to that plan. What they want is they've been looking at this platform, this page, and they said, wow, this thing is again nowhere else on the internet have that. But what this page is that it shows you all the BUMN, basically state-owned enterprises that and the percentage, and we sum them up. For example, Bank Syariah Indonesia, individually, the bank is owned 51.47% by Mandiri, 23% by BNI, and 15.3% by BRI. But in total, the government effectively control 90% because the government also control Mandiri, BNI, and BRI. So this is the effective ownership. How much of Daya Mitra is owned by Telkom? Here, all this breakdown, all this user experience, you just couldn't find this information anywhere on the internet. So to ask this question of like, well, how much state-owned ownership is it? This is just a one page giving you all this information. In fact, it's so updated, you can see Danantara in here already, right? This kind of information, when you give it to a company like BPK, they just like, wow, if we don't work with sectors, if we don't work with the team that is building sectors, who do we even work with that has that kind of track record, that has already done it already? No one. No one, right? So that is kind of the main part of BBK case studies. Now let me just sectors AI search. So I think if you wanted to do some homework here, what you need to be good at is to be able to here we talk about BBK is to be able to at least do the AI search demonstration. So let me just like this one. I think most of you should be able to do this by now. There are a few ways you could use the search. The first way is to just tap on anything in here, right? Like tap on logistics, find all the company in logistics. These are Indonesian company. These are in the LQ45 index. Port services, Sharia, natural gas, right? You just tap on it. You could just also write on it. You could just write and like, for example, crude palm oil. You could type plantation. Let's say I want to look at airport, any airport. So just airport. You see that it completes that, and also you see that some of these are listed in Singapore, so .si. Some of them are listed in Indonesia, so .jk. And basically, for you to search like, okay, what company is in the airport space, in the region? So we're gonna extend this into covering Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, all right? But this is we call it a financial search engine. And again, there's no equivalent. You can't find any financial search engine the way that Sectors AI is. That's the first way you search. You just search for keywords. So you can type like data center. You can type like shopping mall. And if I wanted to shopping mall, I want to listing everything in Singapore only. I will put at SG. And if you find only Singapore ones, if I wanted to find only Indonesian one, I put at ID. And then later on, we will support Malaysia. But right now, it doesn't yet. So you will be able to see all that. So I want to say that hotel group, and then I want to say at SG. Then you can find all the one in SG. And then without that, it will just search all of these. This is like just using keyword search. You should at least try that. This is easy homework. You should be able to open that up and do the demo. A lot of companies want a better search engine. I think I talk about this in a bulletin. AI search is like companies just want a better search engine. Well, I don't know. This is a very long article. Okay, it's okay. Anyway, in a lot of companies who think they want AI, they actually really don't need AI. What they want is they want to be able to have basically what you see there, 100,000 audit reports, and then just have a nice search engine to search that right information and put out. They want a Google that is built for their own use case. That's it. That's all they want. We are so used to Google. Companies want a Google in their internal search. That's all they want. And who can build that? Somebody who have done it before. Who? Us. Supertype, Algorithma, together, we can do that. All right. So there is no competition. No one else. You can find me anyone else in the region that has built robust search engine powering 30,000 people use cases. I don't think so. There's not anyone else. Okay, that's the first one. Second one is search by ticker. Basically, if you know the Yahoo Finance ticker, you can type BBCA and you will be able to find that. You can type ADRO, you will find that. So it will give you this summary. That's very easy, very straightforward. You can just type like DBS as well, and you would find DO5. So DO5, and then you should be able to find, whatever, DBS Group Holdings. Okay. The third one is to search by sectors. So for example, I type coal, oil, gas, coal. You see, it show up and tell you that maybe this is what you want. It links you to that. You can search for like banks, and it links you to that. So this is searching by sort of like name of region. But generally, it should be very smart and it should be very fast. Now, the fourth way of using it is to just use AI search. So for example, I said, what are the top 3 companies in oil, gas, coal by revenue? And top three of that, because you're asking for by revenue, it needs to sort by revenue. So you pull out the answer and it gives you the revenue on the right. So you can again fact check it a little bit. You can click on this one and you can see where is this revenue. And the revenue is this is cash, this is here, 61.34 and 61.34. So you can fact check it. If you try to ask this in ChatGPT, you will not get the right answer. Just not get the right answer at all. So if you wanted to, you could also do this demo, depending on how much time you have with your client or how much time you have to do a demo. But I'm telling you, like whatever I'm giving you here, if you practice just the first 1 hour of my pitch, every time we have a meeting, every time we have a whatever, like a presentation, or you have to give a keynote, or you have to go on a stage and present what Algorithma Supertype is capable of doing, you will have the best presentation completely. Like what I'm teaching you here is what I do every single one. Like the AI conference that just happened, I did exactly what I'm doing here, right? I'm just showing you that I used ChatGPT to show you why it couldn't do that, and then change this to, let's say, by profit. Now it shows you by profit, and if you sort by profit, no longer is the Perusahaan gas on top. Now Alarm Tree is on top. You see that? Very, very smart. And look at how fast is our query. How fast is that? And again, you can fact check it, click onto it, 22.23. Let's go into financials. And let's look at the profit for that year. And then just basically, I think gross profit or profit here, this one, 22.3. So basically, companies who wanted to build AI and everything, your positioning is that you have strong track record because the team that you work with, the engineers that are on your team, they build search engine for a living. They don't just build it for themselves, they build it for companies like PPK, they build it for other companies, they build it for many companies. A lot of them are on case study. So first thing is be able to establish the authority. You have to strengthen your hand. You don't want to go in there, and if the worst part of being sales is that you're selling a thing that everyone can do. Everyone can do, you're in a lot of competition. If you think selling in Supertype or Algorithma is hard, do any other sales job in your life and you know it's even harder because there are so many competition, because what you do, everyone else can do. You want to work in a company where what you do is so uniquely premium that only your team can do. That makes sales easy, right? So here, focus on what I showed you there. I don't want to get in too much time because a lot of those things are, things that you can try on your own. Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time. It's really 10:45. So try and at least do your own homework. Sit together as a team on your sales team or whatever, right? Organize your own internet meeting and work through all of this stuff. Then the second part is that now people will ask you, well, how do you do this though? How though? Then what I will just show is what I just showed you earlier. BBCA investor report. Go into all of this stuff. Click onto the financial report. Click onto the earnings, annual report. Click onto one of it. I don't even care, 2023, right? Let's just open that up. Wait for it to load. It's going to take forever because these pages, this PDF are huge. And so in order to build sectors, you need to do like that. I don't even know the math already, right? You see like 970 pages times 5 times 970 companies times like 950 companies on IDX, like this amount of math, right? And it's not even done yet. This is how huge the PDF is at. I think it's about a 1,000 over page, this one. And you just wait for it to load. The thing is that BPK also have all these reports. And in order to build this, you need to build AI that can read through hundreds and thousands of reports. And then once it's done reading, it generates this knowledge sentiment, and then it put everything. Okay, so this is how it's done, okay? Okay, I'm going to give you my secret sauce. And you can give your client your secret sauce as well. Because even giving them the secret sauce, they still can't replicate it. That's how far ahead we are of competition. But even with that, we're still ahead. We can tell you how exactly we do it. Now, this is it, 743 pages. I'll give you the secret sauce, right? We take the 100,000 of AI reports. We build multi-agent systems. This is explained in the sectors.bulletin.agentic patterns. If you want to read like what is a multi-agent architecture, you can read that on our bulletin, but not important for you now. But we build multi-agent systems that intelligently reads these reports and use data pipelines and we create data pipelines to turn this unstructured PDF, PowerPoint, document, Word docs, I don't know, Word documents, all this other stuff into structured, schematized database. The actual word for that is called vector stores, but your client wouldn't understand that, so don't worry. Just say schematized database. Okay, we build that into schematized, then we sanitize it for consistency. What does that mean? Because every company would report things slightly differently. So, for example, we go to BBCA and we go to financials, or we go to management. Now, every company has their own way of trying to report things like, let's say this is a NPL, non-performing loan, they might give it a slightly different name and everything. But OJK, basically the authorities, Wangan, they have their own definition. So we have to sanitize it in order for you to compare apple to apple. So they can compare apple to apple. If we use their own internal definition, we were not able to compare apple to apple. So you see this one here, you can actually compare apple to apple. How much non-performing loans are there for Maybank compared to Bank Permata? You can compare that. And this is also explained a little bit in the data ops, standardized with good sense. I will again link it to the document. So if you want to, oops, did I copy the right one? If you really are serious about becoming the most knowledgeable sales, the most knowledgeable consultant to your client, I would say like do this homework. Like try to understand. I mean, this part alone, right? Even if you stop at this part and you drop out of the meeting right now, you already know more than anyone else in the industry. That's already very important. That's already put you in a very powerful position. If you are not knowledgeable, how do you sell? How do you even get people to listen to you and want to talk to you? And most of the deals is that people want to do business with you because because they just see you as knowledgeable. You know how fast my deals are? I'll just show you my conversation. Or you can ask Mulia. You want to see how fast my sales are? I don't know where is the. Okay, 8:25. 8:25, I call. She said 3 minutes. 8:30, I called. And we had a call for like 20 minutes. At 11, I closed the deal already. Who's in charge? I give the email. Done. I closed the deal within 30 minutes. Now, I told Mulia that to send an invoice and everything already. We basically did the opportunity discovery. This only happened on Saturday, by the way, okay? Saturday. And now she wanted to move on to the opportunity discovery, which is here, which I'm going to talk about as well. My deals are really, really fast. Why? Not because I'm a good salesperson. It's just because you're knowledgeable. You know the problems. You know how to. And this is not even the first day. You can ask Mulia. Are you there, Mulia?
Yeah, what's up, man?
You remember DSNG? Remember you were at Starbucks and we met in the morning. Remember that with Park RD?
Yeah.
RO?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that story. I don't know if you guys know, but Mulia was there in the morning. When I was having breakfast, I met with the guy Pak Andri. He's the group CEO of DSN Group. So if you like DSN Group, group CEO, this guy. I met him over breakfast, and when we met at breakfast, I then introduced him to Mulia because Mulia was outside at Starbucks. We met for breakfast. That's the first time I met him in person. First time. Before that, we only had like 1 messages or 2 messages. All the messages was like, oh, shall we meet? Yes. I said, yes. We met. And during breakfast lunch, we sat down. The waiters brought in the menu. The menu was on our table. At this point, we haven't even ordered yet. The menu is still on table. You know what Pak Andri did? He put out his hand. He's like, okay, I want you to shake my hand. Because he said, oh, why are you so in a rush? I said, I need to fly to KL. He said, okay, when are you coming back? I said, maybe in 3 weeks' time. So at this point, we haven't even ordered breakfast yet. He put out his hand. He said, I need you to shake my hand right now, and we call it a deal. I want you to, when you come back to KL, come back to Jakarta 3 weeks from now, I want you to come over to my office and do a session for us for AI and explore ways we could use AI together. He made me shake his hand even before we ordered food yet. We just sat down, bro. We just sat down. Menu was brought out on the here. We haven't decided what to eat. He haven't decided. He put out his hand. He's like, I need you to shake my hand now and agree on the deal. When you come back from KL, which is like 3 weeks from now, I need you to come over to my office and let's do the deal. Let's do it together. And that's it. I shake his hand and the deal was closed. The deal was closed within the first 10 minutes because we haven't even ordered breakfast yet. I still haven't opened up the menu. He haven't opened up the menu and the deal was closed. And when we came out, I texted Mulia. I'm like, Mulia, I want to introduce you to this guy. And I introduced him. My deals are really, really fast. My deals are usually closed within like 30, 40 minutes because they don't care. Like, you know how I talk about this thing last time in one of the if you guys go and watch the video I did for you guys in December, the meeting I did, this same meeting, the sales meeting, I told you to never go in with a PowerPoint. You know how every salesperson likes to come in a PowerPoint? Like everyone is like, okay, here, I will come in and here's my PowerPoint, here's our services and everything. Like who actually enjoyed that anyway? You put yourself in your shoe. Do you enjoy being sold like that? Like let's say you're meeting your high school friend. Your high school friend is in, let's say it's in insurance atau in property, I don't care, okay, insurance or something. And you sat down with him in Starbucks. This person opened up his laptop and then started teaching you on insurance, giving you a PowerPoint. Who likes being sold like that anyway? I know I don't. I want to meet you because you're my friend. We're in high school. And then when I sit down and you so eagerly open up, your PowerPoint, here's 20, 30 pages, I'm really checked out because I feel like, hey, if I wanted to watch your PowerPoint, send it to me on my email, I'll watch it. I come here, sit in front of you. I want to hear stories. I want to hear why you guys are the best at what you do. I want to hear how you're going to save my life one day with the insurance coverage. I want to hear how doing insurance is the best decision I've done. I want to hear how that if I don't use insurance, I am at a bigger financial loss than if I have insurance. I want to hear stories. I don't want you to go through page number 5, page number 6, page number 7, and go through all the PDF. Same thing in here. It's like, if you're a salesperson, you have to make yourself at least entertaining. But to be entertaining, you need to be very knowledgeable. So this is the key here on BPK. Okay, that's all of this. You can show all this stuff. I don't have time to go through all of that already, but I will show you a second thing that we're building, and it's on. But I'll give you the link very shortly. Insider. Okay, the second part of Insider is that we are building this thing. The second part of sectors is that we are building this thing. All the thing with sectors is that everything is public company, listed company. But now we're pushing into private companies as well. So very, very, very shortly, within 1 or 2 months, you'll see me launch this thing called the Sectors Insider. It's insider.sectors.app if you wanted the URL. So it's insider.sectors.app. And you should see this. And in here, if you click into the coal mining sites, you will find all the coal mining company in that operation, in that area. This is all in Kalimantan Timur. You can scroll down and go and look at Nusa Tenggara Barat. Okay, hold on. Let me. Some of this is because we need to reset the Zoom first. Okay, now let's try again. Okay, Barat, Timur. You can see like what mining operations are there in each one of this area. Kupang. You can see which of these what mining operations are there. Each one of them you can go back to. Let's go back to Kalimantan because I think that's the most common one, Bulungan. And then you can also see a visual of like where are they, each of the players in there. Now, when you get to that point, you can also see the companies. We list it out for every single company. I'm not logged in, so I'm only seeing the first 10 or 20. But if you're logged in, you should be able to see like hundreds of pages of them. Each one of them, you can filter, you can open up more columns, and I mean just the analytics experience is really, really top notch. I think that's one thing that one of our clients just told Mulia this the other day. Actually, just this week, I think on Monday, yesterday, when Mulia went to his office at Office 88 at Kota Casablanca, and the client would tell you like the reason they are obsessed about Supertype is that we build incredibly polished products. We have the most beautiful products. You can ask Mulia that. Mulia, is it true that like our user experience is it? Was it that?
Yeah, I think that's the part that we excel at. Like we build a beautiful product, like product that people love to use and has a nice interface.
Yeah, like it's very delightful. And this is from the client, you know. And you know what the client also say? The client say that I'm so big fan of your product that I also read all your release note. Like he basically read all this release note and everything. And the client actually, this is not the first time the client has said that. I think this is maybe the second time or third time that he has told Mulia the same thing. But he said the same, he said the idea is that like what Supertype built is really, really beautiful to use. And he even have a theory that yesterday he mentioned that to Mulia in his office. He said that his theory was that maybe Sam come from a gaming experience because I used to work for Molo Games, right? So it's like maybe because of that, he developed this sense of like building really good products. But I mean, me and Mulia knows that it's not true because I mean, I don't really build game interface for game design. But I mean, that's what the client thinks, then it's fine. Actually, the client has told me the same thing. He's like, my theory is that you come from a game because he's like, I don't know how you guys do it because the products you build, great experience. The user experience is great. The whole usage is very delightful. And my theory is that because you work from a game industry, that's why. And I don't know how to correct him. I don't know how to tell him that he's wrong. But you know, if he believes that, then so be it, right? But you can see there's a search in here. You can search like Adaro, and you will find all the other. Obviously now because I'm not logged in, I'm only seeing the first 10 results. But if you're logged in, you see all the Adaro company. Now I'll show you what really blows your mind. If you click into any of them, if you show you which places of Kalimantan is operating in, if you give you a stock report linked to sectors, so you click on that, it opens that up in sectors. If you show you what is the activities, if you show you its subsidiary ownership in this diagram, if you show you what are the licenses, this is very important. For most mining company, these are all about licenses. What makes a mining company valuable is the license, is the permit it allows to mine. So it controls 2 CCOW and 3 IUP, and it controlled in total 90,000 hectares. Like that is valuable information. And we do that for every single company. And not only every single whole company, every single company in commodities. So when we launch this one, you'll be blown away. If you have if you have everything from coal to gold to copper to nickel to cobalt to bauxite to aluminium, every single company. And what will blow your mind is that if you not just do it for public company, you do it for every company, private company, public company, everything. And so you can look at I can't show you Beryl because it's already like in second page. Oh, actually there is still in second page. Okay, so like Bayan, I guess. Then you can see like, okay, what do they own? Which part of the map? This is Kalimantan Timur. This is the key coal mine, Kalimantan Selatan. This is the key area. You can see where they own, right? And you can see this is the office space. You can see all this activity sheet. What are they directly involved in? And licenses, every single thing. And this is gonna be that for every single company, not just coal mining, but for and there will be an intelligent news feed that will summarize like who won the new license for everything. That I think is still in the making, but I feel like I can show you local host, and I believe it's Indonesia mining sites. No, so it's not Indonesia mining sites. It's some. I need to open up my code editor to see it. Indonesia coal mining. Okay, let's see if that's correct. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I think I should close this off. Sorry. Don't want to lag on this thing. Indonesia coal mining. Let's try coal mining. But it will be there for every single one, not just coal mining. But it will have like a intelligent newsfeed that tells you like who win the new license, what are the new license awarded. This is also very important information because a big part of running a coal mining operation is companies rely on this information to acquire new mine. Because really, what makes a coal mine valuable is not just that you have the reserve, but you have the license to mine it already. And so these companies would then try to like acquire new mines for the licenses and everything. So all of this consolidated newsfeed and everything, again, the only thing in the world. There is no such equivalent platform. And we're going to do it for every single one of the company across Indonesia. All right. So that is something we're going to launch very, very soon. I will show you the last thing and then I think maybe by then. Sorry, I said I will stop a bit for some time, to ask question and everything. I don't have time yet. The last one is PeriWatch, which I built within like 8 hours. So PeriWatch is going to be rebranded a bit. I'm going to change the layout a little bit to make it more general, but we are selling this to buyers BIS is basically the one that work with BIN. BIN is basically the Central Intelligence Agency. So sometimes you will hear them being called like the CIA of Indonesia, like the Armed Forces Strategic Intelligence Agency. So Parabosh is our own project, completely built. At the time, I pretty much solo this whole project. So there's no one else to work on this project except myself. And so what it does is that it simulates an effect of like, what does it do? It basically monitor for threats to the country, to the army, to the country, to the people. It monitor all of that. So for example, X.com. So what we do is that we will build these agents, we will embed them on X. So on X.com, you will go there, you will see some fake accounts that are managed by Paribotch. And the fake accounts are going to highlight all these tweets and they will flag it for you. So same thing for threats. If you also embed some of these, it will create a few accounts and then you'll put it on threads.com and X.com, Twitter.com. And again, they will highlight very problematic things and they will throw it onto your dashboard. And then also on Telegram. So on Telegram, people can report to this user. So there will be a user, it will have this nice little bird, this little crow, or this little raven. And this little raven will then take up all this information and report it back to you. You have all of this. And this is social media monitoring, so it's SOTO. So you will be able to click onto any of this and try to see what information you have on this person. So for example, let's say Obed Habuni. If we click on that, you can see that it's not searching the web. It generates a summary, kind of like ChatGPT. So it tells you that this is a Papuan guerrilla leader who is a commander of the Tepe and Pebi. And we have 4 documents related to this person. You can click on that, it will generate new documents for you. We can click on Medusa Network. It will pull information out from the net. This guy, you can see, this is his account. You can see what other accounts does he interact with. So the red ones are basically lines that he interact with. Orange are the ones that he reply to or like or anything. And then red one is basically all the replies. So you can also just search, for example, Goliath again. Click on enter. Vincent, click on enter. Right? So then you obviously have the notification and inbox. If you use this on demo, you will notice that this is your own IP address. This is not my, right now what you're seeing is that I'm actually sitting behind this ISP. So you're seeing this information. You're seeing that I'm in Kuala Lumpur. This is actually real. So if you do this demo on your own computer, you will see the notification was showing you that you're in a different position. And because this is new, it gives you a heads up and saying that if somebody is logging into this platform on an unrecognized device, it will push it to a DB as well. So you can see like who actually have access to your account. This is real, by the way. So I could also click on the login coordinates and I can see where in Google am I at right now. Okay. So obviously when you do it, you won't see Kuala Lumpur, you'll see Jakarta or wherever you are from. All right. So this is a platform that we basically built. There's other things like threat analysis and everything. I don't have time to go through each one of them to build each one of the features out, but this is the UI. And I think the only person who have demoed this so far is Mulian. So Mulian, did you demo this project to Kevin, right?
Yeah, I demo it with Kevin and his team. Yeah, the same feedback, man. Like they love the UI UX of the platform.
Yeah. So by the way, for some, if you guys are wondering who is Kevin, right? Kevin is basically the CEO and the founder of Pergi Pergi, basically the second largest online travel agency in Indonesia before it got acquired by Traveloka. He's the founder of Pergi Pergi. He sold it to Traveloka for 8-digit sum, basically more than 10 million US dollar. This one. In total, they sold two other things and they sold for US dollar 66.8 million. 66.8 million US dollar. All right. And after that, he started a company called Alpha Beta. Alpha Beta Indonesia. This one. And he ran a few development house as well, meaning he has his own developers as well. Okay, he has his own developers. You can ask Mulia. Mulia, how many people were there? How many developers were there when you did the demo to them?
There were only 3, but I mean, these 3 are CEOs. So behind them, they have a team of another developers.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like I said, right, Kevin is just like his
The
team
CEO
that
of all the
reporting
CEOs.
to him is CEO as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So the context here is that Kevin, after he sold his company for like maybe 30 million, right, US dollar, he got very rich after that. He started a lot of other projects, including like buy a few gold mines, buy a few like coal mining and everything. You can see all this on his LinkedIn. You know, he's very public about that venture. And he himself, his direct reporting, this is directly from Mulia. You can ask Mulia about this. When he went there, his direct reporting are all CEO, right? They all have their own company, correct, Mulia?
Yeah.
Direct, yeah.
His-
They all own their own company, right?
Yeah, one have a digital design agency, and then another one has a software house.
Yeah.
And then another one doing influencer stuff. So
Yeah. Okay. The thing is that Kevin himself is kind of like the CEO of this group of CEOs. All of these CEOs are working with him. They basically get scolded by him. They listen to him. They take instructions. They take orders from him. And if they don't do it well enough, Kevin will scold them. and this group of CEOs in turn have their own development house. They all have their own developers. So we're talking about a network of a lot of engineers. So Kevin is surrounded by engineers. He's surrounded by software developers. His own brother is a developer as well. He has a brother, also Sanjoto. And everyone around him are developers, and yet he's obsessed about sectors, and he wants Supertype to do all of his project. Why? Because of one thing, and he told Mulia that one thing, it's the product experience is really, really good. The product, the whole design, the whole aesthetic, the whole analytics, the whole presentation of data looks so good. Like, I mean, you look at my interface right now, you're seeing this right now. I want you to honestly ask yourself, right? Like, who in Indonesia built better sort of analytics, built better interface, built better AI products than Supertype? Who in the region, let's not even Indonesia, who in the region built better sort of user experience than us? Like, honestly, ask yourself that, you know, like working together here, we have a good sales team, we have a good product team, we can conquer the market. As long as the product team continue to deliver very high quality product, then no one else can. Okay, so that's fairwatch.com. We are very quickly gonna flip that into a few other products, and it will become an internal it will become a platform on its own. We are gonna spin it out, but I think Isna have seen it as well. Isna is gonna already try to like talk with Tori, right? I think you said with Tori.
Yeah. Last time we eventually already show or demo it to one of our potential client, which is Astra Financial.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the client is satisfied. He mentioned that he would need another discussion for the technical of this Fairwatch, Sam. He's very interested in this.
Okay. So yeah, so like when you think about, and we're gonna change this up a bit because this is all focused on like national sovereignty, national security. So there will be a second, they will become like Fairwatch will become like, there will be like security for Fairwatch, and then there will be like marketing, like market research, like all these different use cases. So Fairwatch is gonna, you can use Fairwatch for market research. For example, you can see like what people like. I think we have a very similar client case that asked for that market research. Here, like market research R&D insights platform. This is very recent as well, 26th of May, intelligent market research and R&D. What is it? Like they wanted to find what, yeah? Nabati. So this is a website, Nabati. They sell waffle, Nexta, you know, all these different kind of Rishi's instant noodle. And they wanted to know what people like on social media. And they wanted to know not just like what people like. Right now they're signing up for like Nielsen and Euromonitor, but they want to know, you know, what could people like in terms of like sentiment analysis. For example, like the word, we use the word gula aren, right? Like gula aren, basically gula melaka or gula merah or something, right? And if people are like, if on social media, a lot of people are like, they like that stuff, for like salted egg, you know, for example, another one. But then they want to modify, they want to adapt that for their R&D use. And they already allocated a budget for that. They want to build that, right? They wanted to know, okay, maybe people like the salted egg thing. And what do people say about this on social media? So the same framework can be used for that as well, because again, it's a social monitor. And then from there, it aggregate all these, what do people like? People are talking about like gula aren and gula melaka, and they're talking about like salted egg, all that. And then from there, we build out the analytics in here, like, okay, what are the trending flavor? What are the new flavor for potato chips? Before that, potato chips is just ubi, just kentang, very, very simple. Nowadays, it's like all kind of things, like potato chips has like chili, have chabe, has tom yum flavor, all kind of flavor. So which one does well, which one receive a lot of traction? That's what they want us to build. Basically, Perry Watch, but not for security, but for market research, right? So we're gonna like modify that stuff. But I feel like you need to know how to do all these simple demo, because if you do, it really make you so much more interesting. Like I need to look forward to sitting with you when I'm a prospect customer, because your products is delightful to use. And so you see, like our clients keep asking Mulia to demo stuff. I'm not in the city, unfortunately. So a lot of this last few demo, the one demoing it is Mulia. You can ask Mulia, and I can tell you, like, how proud is he? Like Mul, I mean, you're the salesperson, it's your own reputation. Would you want to demo something built on shiny apps and like some very leggy and everything? No, because you are used to selling the kind of products that you're selling right now, like Perry Watch, Insider, Supertype, all of these sectors. When you're selling at that level of quality, everyone wants to listen to your pitch. Everyone wants to bring in the head of CEO and all these other companies to come and sit down on your pitch, because it's interesting, it's insightful, and it's not some PowerPoint that you could like, okay, here's page number 3, page number 4. No. So this is very important. There is a document here called Show Don't Tell that I can send to you guys. But if you want some homework, go through that. I promise you, if I'm a salesperson, the next 1 week, I'll just spend time on this thing. If I get really good at this part, everything should close on its own. I haven't even got to show you the sectors chart. Man, so many things I haven't got to show you. But last one, okay? We're launching chat very soon. It's already online as well, sectors.app/chat. You can ask, like, there are a few demo you can ask. For example, I can click on this one and I can hit enter. And if you pull data from sectors, you can see where its data is from. It will tell you that it's calling this API from sectors, and it generates the results. This one obviously needs a better presentation. So let me take a screenshot. This one needs to give feedback to my team. Okay. And man, I still have a few things I need to attend to. Yeah, this is a new intern that is on. I have to onboard him. Okay. Anyway, you can follow up with more questions. You can ask questions, and let me go back to the chat again. Go back there again. Like analyze the performance of companies belonging to subsectors. Okay, let's just go with that. I just want to keep it quick here. You see, it will fetch out the results, pull the right tools, generate that. Same thing here, some feedback. So we sometimes need to tell the AI to do things better. Same with this. Okay. There's also data visualization of, like, you can take this and then click on data visualization, and the AI will draw a chart for you. And by the way, if you don't know the ticker, you can just put a dash and you can just pick from here, right? So I can say BB, and you can see all the BB coming out, and say BBC, and you can see BBCA coming out. See that? So bbca.jk, click on that, and then turn it on. Let's see if it does that. Generating the chart for you. Now here's the chart. Obviously needs to use a full width. That's why it's still not in at least it does the chart part. Okay, let me just paste this up in there as well, and then we can attend to it later. Let's put all this in there. Chart doesn't take full width, and there is a console. There is a console log. Let me just reply to this guy. Hey, let's hop on a call for 30 minutes. Because sorry, I'm in another meeting. Okay, sorry for that. Let's go back to Anyway, what it would do is that it would do all these like tools for you and everything. This is not even like out yet. They're not even really out because we're still like polishing it and everything. But the products we build have to be exciting. You know, one thing I always said about this before. Let's go back to our media. You know, one of the things I said, great product makes marketing easy. Great marketing makes sales easy. Like it really starts from there. You know, like the reason why, if you work as a sales for Apple, you're gonna have an easy job because marketing at Apple is great. Like Apple does brilliantly at the marketing. Apple has the best marketing team, the best marketing materials, is great website and everything. But why is it so good? Because Apple has great product in the first place. Great products makes marketing easy. Great marketing makes sales easy. So I think like going through going through this stuff here, like my takeaway here is that you need to like there is no point if we keep building great product, but this information stops here and it doesn't flow down. It doesn't flow down to marketing and sales. And I think like Sayangsi is like, you know, what's the point of building all that stuff? And you don't sector snapshot. Yeah, I want to show you the last one here as well. The sales kit, snapshot and bank. By the way, I don't know if you guys, I think maybe you can tell because it's very obvious sometimes. If you go to LinkedIn and you go to sectors, the app that you see, the PDF that you see were not generated by designers at all. These were all done programmatically, meaning it's done by our algorithms. Where's our push post? You see this every Monday. This thing is actually not, it's automatically created and automatically pushed. No one do any of this design at all. But there are some feedback I give them, like this one runs overboard, and I can show you like the feedback I gave on like visuals, like this one. You see, we'll debug why it's back to the original value. So what does it mean when I say we debug? It means that all of this is done by our algorithms. So you see all these like beautiful visuals and everything that you see in there. This is another thing that clients get excited about. We look at that, we ask them like, you know, how many man days, how often do you need to generate a report and you need to spend all this time doing all these reports and it's like wasting a lot of time. What if we can do all of this completely automatically within like under 1 minute, you can get a report like that? Like how valuable would that be, right? And I don't really think there's many other teams that can promise that kind of stuff. I don't think many other teams have that kind of ability to do what we do here and say, oh, we can do it within 1 minute. Like generate a beautiful PDF. All of this is actually, none of them is generated by designers anymore. All of this is all programmatic, meaning generated through code. I think that's also really big. And a lot of companies would like that because report automation is such a big use case. Everyone who spend any time building reports, they hope that they want to get, you know, someone to just go and do it for, like build a system where they click on one click and then bam, you generate a beautiful PDF, all the charts, all the data, everything pulling from the database, CRM, HubSpot, Gmail, pull all the information and generate a beautiful report and send it to you. That's actually what we do. And we do it also not just for ourselves, we do it for other clients as well. So that's about it. Okay, now we can maybe take questions. Sorry for that. I know I said I was going to pause for questions, but like we have now like 8 minutes. Anyone want to just like unmute, or you guys like what's your system here? Do you want to like unmute? Do you want to like you have any questions? Maybe start from Isna. Maybe Isna, anything that do you think I went too fast on some point that you wanted me to elaborate on?
Maybe on the body watch system, I kind of interested, and this one I think that I've experienced several questions from our client like 2 or 1 years ago. I forgot, but the Medusa part where the persona connected to, there is some kind of web. He's connected to people's. Where did the information? How you crawl that information? Is it like by social media?
Yeah, by social media, because
Yeah.
the person would have to reply to threats, right? Like if this guy, if let's say Suara Papua, he replied to West Papua Warriors and he replied that very often, then it will form the edge. The edge will become stronger. Like you see some edge are stronger than the others. So if this guy replied to Khalid Nurhadi a lot, then you see the line being formed. So yeah, it's by social media, yes.
Hmm. Okay, so even though the persona in there in the social media is some kind of private, we still are able to get this kind of information.
Okay, so the way we work is that we will embed agents directly into the social media. Basically, like you go to social media, there are some like maybe how many, I don't know, what percentage of accounts are bots on Twitter? I don't know, man. 50? 15, 20? Yeah. Or maybe 75? So we basically just generate the Perry Watch agent, which is basically a chatbot, a bot that goes in there and pretend to be a human. So if this account has to be followed in order to see, then it will follow it because it's just like a human. It just has a fake agent profile and goes in there and pretend to be a user. So if you need to see the post, like on Instagram, you need to follow this person to see the post, then it would try to follow the person first.
Wow, interesting. And also the sectors insider, I just knew it. So yeah, I think that one also interesting to our client in mining and oil and gas sectors.
Yeah, I think it's I'll be very honest with you. I'm not such a genius to have these kind of ideas. The idea came from actually Cinemas ADB. They basically have the commercial department. In coal mining, there is a commercial department that are in charge of. They are not in charge of coal mining anything. They don't. Commercial department of mining is like, there is every time you have a mine and you are done with the reserve, you pretty much your company existence will be threatened, right? If the mine you own is gone, then it's gone, right? So what they need to do is that coal mine companies that run a big commercial department, they are constantly in the lookout to buy new company, to acquire new mine for their licenses, to acquire providing new services, because a mine is a finite resource. When the mine is gone, it's gone. It's like already udah habis. Everything we can get, already get, right? So companies like Cinemas, like Adaro, they are constantly on the lookout for opportunity, which is why we built the new, there is a smart inbox that will show them that the newest license granted, all the stuff. I showed you just now in one of my, I haven't pushed it to the production yet, but it's on my local code there. It would have an intelligent newsfeed, basically catering to exactly that use case. Companies who needed to have high intelligence, to companies that are even private companies and everything. They wanted to have all of this stuff. And coal also have different quality. I don't know if you know about like metallurgical coal, high quality coal. All these coal have different quality coal. Some of coal are good for like thermal coal. And what is the quality? What is the ratio? Actually, let me show you my database as well, since we're in here. Am I still sharing my screen actually? I think I am, right? Yeah, I think I am. Let me. So like all this coal itself has quality as well, like batubara, nickel, cobalt, timbalsen, aluminium, copper, emas, perak, silver, all of this stuff. And each of the company, the information, you can see the licenses type. You can look at the company ownership. You can look at company's performance, mining operation, reserve status, production volume, sales volume, overburden removal, resource reserve, how much more they have left, and export destination, global commodity data, mining contract, mining sites, resource and reserve. Like the kind of things we have is extremely valuable and it's very defensible in that it's very, very hard. I tell you why it's very hard, because it's not even public company. A lot of these are private company. So it's almost impossible to think that it's not a public company. How do you even get all those data? I think like what we built there is very valuable. And when the product is finished, it will shock people. And most people will tell you like, well, how do you actually do that? Because it's like, this is a private company. How do you even get that? So So yeah, I think that's the insider. When we launch, I'm gonna give you an account, I'm gonna your account like do for sectors. If you guys are upgrade mine and everything, if you have a new account that you upgrade it, just upgrade your account. But the idea that we this exact thing. You want products that are no equivalent. Uh, uh, it would make sales and marketing easy. The thing here is the opportunity discovery. It's a flat fee, like 3.9K, flat price. And we want engineering, basically developing within developing a one prototype product within again, only team as scary as Super can promise something like that. Finish about 12 hours to this thing. So you can build POC for them based on the Perry framework and give it to them for 3.9K. It's like very high quality product, but very cheap. Every other company that asks you to send in and ask you to like, okay, don't ask for quotation stuff, but do that just like here's the price already. In 24, finish everything in 24 hours. Right? Like make the product very, very easy to sell. Like who cannot, I mean, even a 40 high schooler can sell this product 24 hours, 10K. Again, here's the 24 hours, here's the break, 5 to 7 hours in discovery, 3 hours business value catalog, 12 hours in here, and then here's the detail for each one of them. Very easy to sell. The whole point is to get to discovery, and then from there we upsell to the consulting, the big deal, the 100,000 deal. Yeah. Okay, that's it's last question. Anyone else from sales? We still have maybe let's do another 5 minutes. Because I already pushed it to 30 minutes later anyway, so I had more time now. Anyone else have questions? Because we don't get to talk that often, right? How often do we meet each other? Like not that often. So yeah, if you have questions, this is a good time.
Yeah. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Yeah. For the Perryworth, will it open for public? I mean, like you said that in the future there will be like a Perryworth for marketing and etc. So will it open for public? Like we need to subscribe, sectors in the future?
No, it won't be open for public. The only way you get your own